Hello, I'm Mark Darcy.
And I'm Ruth Fox, and we're here to tell you about Parliament Matters, the new weekly podcast about all things Parliament from the Hansard Society.
Two things you should never see being made, laws and sausages. However appetising they seem, you don't want to think too hard about what went into them.
But the ingredients do matter, so we'll be looking at how laws are made and ministers are held accountable by the people we send to Westminster, and we'll do our best to answer your questions about them.
We'll be analysing the sometimes mysterious ways our politicians do business.
And keeping track of all the running controversies about the way Parliament works.
Everything from whether billions of pounds should be spent on revamping the Palace of Westminster, the home of Parliament.
Whether years should be spent rewriting the Constitution, perhaps replacing the House of Lords with an elected Senate.
Not to mention the fast-evolving system to stamp out bad behaviour by MPs and peers. We'll do everything from looking back at key historical events in Parliament to discussing the latest research on democracy and politics.
Between us, we've got lots of practical experience working in and around Westminster and observing Parliament and politicians at close quarters.
I was the BBC's parliamentary correspondent for 2 decades, presenting programmes like Radio 4's Today in Parliament and the Westminster Hour.
And I started out working in Parliament for an MP, but now research and write about how Parliament works and how it can be better.
This isn't our first double act, because some of you may remember we used to commentate together for BBC Parliament on big votes during the Brexit era.
But this podcast is being brought to you by the Hansard Society. No, not the record of parliamentary debates, but the parliamentary think tank known as the Westminster Parliament's critical friend.
Founded nearly 80 years ago, the Hansard Society has always been resolutely non-partisan. Its first members were Winston Churchill and Clement Attlee.
And today we're bringing Parliament Matters to you with the support of the Joseph Rowntree Charitable Trust, a Quaker trust which engages in philanthropy and supports work on democratic reform.
So join us each week and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from for a regular update on the health of the institution at the very heart of our democracy, Parliament itself.
Because whether it's the taxes you pay or the laws you've got to obey, Parliament matters.
You can follow us on social media at Hansard Society and look out for our first episode on Friday the 10th of November.